Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. In the previous class, we have done some sums based on Gaussian elimination method. That is, we have solved the systems of linear equations by Gaussian elimination method. And I have told you that we can solve the system of linear equations by some another method also. It's like a Cramer's rule, then matrix inversion method. So you have to read the question carefully and what method is being asked you have to find out, and you have to apply that particular method and you have to get the answer. If there is no method mentioned, then it's of your choice to solve the sum. Okay children, so we have started with exercise 1.5 and we have completed till sum number 2. Today we are going to see sum number 3. So write down your classwork, write down today's date, write question number 3, write down the question. An amount of rupees 65,000 is invested in 3 bonds at the rates of 6%, 8% and 9% per annum respectively. The total annual income is rupees 4,800. Actually, make a change in the question children. You have been given with 6%, 8% and 10%. If we apply 10%, we don't get the answer. So you have to change the numbers over there. It's 6%, 8% and 9%. 6%, 8% and 9%. Okay, so make a change in the question. Okay. The income from the third bond is rupees 600 more than that from the second bond. Determine the price of each bond. Use Gaussian elimination method. Okay children, take down the question. And now we are going to move for the answer part. Okay. So which method are we going to follow here? We are going to follow Gaussian elimination method. So let's start our work children. Let's read the statement. Once again, let's find out what is unknown over here. An amount of 65,000 is invested in 3 bonds. So a person is investing an amount of rupees 65,000. Okay, so he is totally going to invest 65,000, but he is investing it in 3 different bonds and it's been invested at 3 different rate of interest. That is, one is at 6% per annum, and one is at 8% per annum, and one is at 9% per annum respectively. So 3 different bonds and 3 different rate of interest. Okay. Now what is the total income he is getting over there? Rupees 4,800 annual income. That is, at the end of the year he gets an annual income of rupees 4,800. Okay. See the next statement. The income from the third bond is rupees 600 more. So the income from the third bond is 600 more than the second bond. That is that from the second bond. So determine the price of each bond. So what are you going to find out? You are going to find out what is the price of 6% bond, or what is the price you get from 6% bond, what is the price you get from 8% bond, and what is the price you get from 9% bond. So let's start with the statement here children. Write down the statement. So we have here we have to take here 3 unknowns because we have to find out the price of each bond. That means 6% bond, 8% bond and 9% bond. So totally how many unknowns we have here? 3 unknowns. So let's write down the statement. Let the price, this is exercise 1.5 sum number 3. Okay. Let the price of 3 bond at the rate of 6%, 8% and 9% be rupees X, rupees Y and rupees Z respectively. So three unknowns we have brought here, all the three unknowns. So for price of 3 bonds, that is for 6% you have the value as X, and the price for 8% bond is Y, and the price for 9% bond is rupees Z. So let the price of 3 bonds at the rate of 6%, 8% and 9% be rupees X, rupees Y and rupees Z respectively. So we have taken down the part that is what we are going to find. Okay children? Okay, now let's read the first statement. What is the total amount invested here? Yes, rupees 65,000. So you write down by the given data, X plus Y plus Z is equal to 65,000. So what is the total amount invested? It's rupees 65,000. So from the first statement we get a condition X plus Y plus Z is equal to 65,000. I mark it as number 1. Is it clear? I hope you are following the sums along with me. Do the sums along with me children. Okay. Now let's go for the next thing. The total annual income is rupees 4,800. That is at the annual. Per year he is going to get an annual income of rupees 4,800 from all the 3 bonds. That is from 6% bond, from 8% bond and also from 9% bond. So let's see here how to write the statement. So the total is 4,800 and he is going to get from 6%, from 8% and from 9%, and we have already fixed the price for the bonds. That is for 6 as X and for 8% as Y and for 9% as Z. So let's make a condition over here. It's 6%. Percent means upon 100. 6% means 6 upon 100 into X plus 8 upon 100 into Y plus 9 upon 100 into Z. And you are going to get a sum of rupees 4,800. Do not write here number 2. We'll just try to simplify it and we'll write down the equation number as 2. So we got 6x upon 100 plus 8y upon 100 plus 9z upon 100 is equal to 4,800. Clear children? Okay. Now what can we see here? We can see that 100 is common for all the numbers. Yes. So 100 can be taken common and it will be taken to the RHS part. So you get here, I'll be doing directly because you know how to take the numbers to that side. So 6x, the numerator parts will be taken together. 6x plus 8y plus 9z is equal to a common. What is the common number here? 100. So 100 into 4,800. So you get here 4800, and how many zeros are added over here? 2 zeros. And already 4,800 was present, yes, and 2 zeros are being multiplied over here. That's 100. So you get 2 more zeros. So 4,80,000. No need to put a comma. You just write the number. So 4,80,000. 6x plus 8y plus 9z is equal to 4,80,000. So I got the second condition. Now we have to find out one more condition so that we can apply the Gaussian elimination method and get the value for unknowns. The income from the third bond. Okay, what is the income from the third bond? Yes, it's 9z upon 100. This is the income from X bond, this is the income from Y bond, and this is the income from Z bond. So now the statement is the income from the third bond is rupees 600 more. So income from the third bond is 600 more. That is, you're going to get how many rupees extra? You're going to get rupees 600 extra than that from the second bond. So let's have a statement here. Let's write the condition over here. So it's 9z upon 100 is equal to 600 plus 600 more than that of the second bond, that is 8y upon 100. Okay, so we'll try to arrange it in a proper format and then we'll give the name of the equation as number 3. So let's start here. So what you get here, 9z upon 100 is equal to 600 plus 8y upon 100. Okay, let's see children, let's try to arrange the numbers in order. Try to keep the constant numbers on one side and try to bring the variables on one side. So what I do is I bring this 8y to this side. So what I'll get here, this is plus 8y. So when it comes to this side, minus 8y upon 100. The 9z is present here itself. So plus 9z upon 100 is equal to 600. Clear? So what we have done, we have brought the variable terms on one side and we are going to keep the constant on one side. So now what we can see again here, we can see the denominator is common. So we are going to take the common denominator to the RHS part. So let's get the answer. So write the numerators together, minus 8y plus 9z is equal to upon 100, and this is 600. So 600 into 100. So 2 more zeros are added over here. So minus 8y plus 9z is equal to 60,000. 2 zeros here, 600 into 100 gives you 60,000. So just name this as equation number 3. So we have found equation 1, we have found equation 2 and also we have found equation 3. So totally we have found 3 equations. So now what are you going to do here? We are going to follow the method that we have used for solving the previous sums. Yes children, so we have some statements over there. What was the statement used? Yes, you are going to transform the augmented matrix into echelon form. So let's see how to transform. So give the heading, transforming. Shall I rub this part? I hope you have taken down this part. Yes children? Okay. So write out the statement here, transforming augmented matrix. That is, a augmented matrix means 2 matrices are written together like A, B. 2 matrices will be written and you have a line in between of the 2 matrices. So transforming augmented matrix into echelon form, or we say echelon form, we get. Okay, so what are we going to get when you are going to transform? See the augmented matrix, so you have to take down the equations. I have only one equation over here. What was the first equation? It was, this is just for my reference, okay? X plus y plus z is equal to 65,000. And the next one was 6x plus 8y plus 9z is equal to 4,80,000. Yes, 4,80,000. So we had this equations is 1, 2, 3 was there. So we are going to transform the matrix in form of echelon form. So let's write the augmented matrix here. So it's take the coefficients 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 65,000. Next 6, 8, 9, 4,80,000. 4,80,000. The last one, I don't have x term, so the coefficient is 0. 0, minus 8, 9, constant term 60,000. Okay, done. 1, 1, 1, 65,000, 6, 8, 9, 4,80,000, 0, minus 8, 9, it's 60,000. So now as usual our procedure, we have to follow the procedure that we have done previously. So now here, just see, I told you it's better to keep a number 1 so that our step becomes easy to make the remaining 2 elements as 0. That is, the first step is you have to make the zeros below the number 1. So this is the first non-zero element. Yes, a first non-zero element in the first row and the first column. So you have to make here 2 zeros. And here our work is easy because already 1 0 is present in the third row. So only you are going to change the second row. So let's change the second row. How your second row is going to change? I want here 0. So R2 is going to change as R2, yes, good, minus 6R1. See here, R2 means 6 minus 6 into 1. 6 minus 6 into 1, 6, that's 0. So R2 changes as R2 minus 6R1. So you have to change only the second row. Do not touch the first and the third. Let's do the change in the second row, children. So keep the first and the third row as it is. 111, 65,000. Here we have to do the change. So I'll just do the change there. 0 minus 89, 60,000. Okay, so we have to complete the second row. I just give you some time, complete the second row and keep your answers ready, children, so that we can have a check of your answer. Have you solved? You have to find out 4 unknowns, that's all. You don't have lot of work over here, only the 4 unknowns you have to find out. Yeah. So first one is already clear. Yes, 6 minus 6 gives you 0. So 6 minus 6, 1. I told you choose the corresponding row. If you are taking this R2, you have to take the same corresponding R1. So 0, 8 minus 6, 1. 6, 1. That is 8 minus 6, 2. So you get here 0, you get here 2. 9 minus 6, 1. So 3. 9 minus 6, 3. So 0, 2, 3. Let's go for this. Don't get confused with the big numbers. Just a few calculation over there. That's all. What do you have? R2. So 4,80,000. 80,000 minus 6 times R1. 65,000. Don't go on multiplying all the zeros. Just multiply the number. 65 into 6. 65, 6 are 5, 6 are 30, 6, 6 are 36 and 39. So you get 390 and now 4,80,000 minus, this is 390. How many zeros to be added? 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. So this is 3,90,000. So what you get when you subtract? Because all zeros, zeros. So when you subtract, you'll get zeros, zeros. 48 minus 39, it's 9. Yes. So you get 9 for this part. 48 minus 39 gives you 9 and here 4 zeros, 4 zeros. So you get 4 zeros. That is 90,000. Be careful, children. Do not skip any zero. If you skip 1 zero, everything goes on. Yes, children. If your salary is 90,000 and if he gives you 9,000, will you agree? No, you will never take that salary. Yes, if it's a 90,000 salary, means you have to get a 90,000 salary. You cannot just say, oh I have just taken 9,000 salary. So there is a lot of change. Okay, there's a lot of difference. If you miss even a single zero, their value is totally different. So 9,000 is different, 90,000 is different, 90 is different, 9 is different, 900 is different, 9 lakh is different, 9 crore is different. So everything is different. So there is the zero is very, very important. Zero plays a very, very important role. We cannot say that you are zero. Zero is a very valuable number. Okay. So we got the answer 0, 2, 3, 90,000. Now let's go for the next step. Let's see how to proceed for the next step now. So what are we going to do here? We have 1, 1, 1, 0, 2, 3. Okay, now what I do is, I will make this as 1. It's our choice, okay? We have our choice. I can just keep this as 2 alone or I'll divide this by 2. So that if I divide by 2 here, I get the answer as 1 here, and so that I may, or it will be easy for us to make the number below this as 0. That is, in place of minus 8, I want the number 0, so that we can complete the or we can change the augmented matrix in form of echelon. That is, into echelon form we can bring. So what I do is, I keep the row 1 as it is and row 3 as it is, and you are going to divide R2 by 2. So to do the conversion here, so R2 changes to R2 divided by 2. So only a division is done in the second row. So let's do the division. 1, 1, 1, 65,000, 0, 0 divided by 2, 0, 2 divided by 2, 1, 3 divided by 2, don't write 1.5 over there, just keep it as 3 upon 2. What is 90,000 divided by 2? Half of 90? 45. So you get 45,000. 90,000 divided by 2? 45,000. Remaining as it is, minus 8, 9, 60,000. Now this is easy, yes, we have minus 8. I can make this as 0. Can you give me the conversion, children? Yes. Which row is going to change? R3 is going to change. How is R3 going to change as? See, a first element I made 0. Now this is from the second row you have to choose the first non-zero element. So what is the first non-zero element? This is the first non-zero element. I don't want the zero element. I should not see this element. I should see the first non-zero. So you have to make the number below that also as 0. So which row is going to change now? The third row is going to change. How are you going to change third row? See here, it's minus 8, yes? So minus 8 plus 8. Minus 8 plus 8 gives you 0. So minus 8 is what? R3. Sign is plus 8. How I get 8 here? 8 times of R2. R3 plus 8 R2 will give you 0. So R3 changes to R3 plus 8 R2. When you have plus sign, you can just put there minus, as we have used in the first conversion, is R2 minus 6 R1, because plus was there. Here we have minus. So when you have minus, you put here plus, so that you get the answer as 0. Okay, let's do the conversion. So first row and the second row is kept as it is, and you are going to change only the third row. So do the changes. 1, 1, 1, 65,000, 0, 1, 3 by 2, 45,000. Next, children, do the changes. So this becomes 0. Try for the remaining part and get the answer. Try out the answer. Okay. So what we have here? Minus 8 plus 8 into 1. So minus 8 plus 8 into 1. Corresponding row I told you, yes. So if you are taking R3, this R3 means you have to take the corresponding R2. So that's 0. 9 plus 8 R2. R2 is 3 upon 2. So 3 2 1s are 2 4s are 8. So you have here 9 plus 12, that is 21. So 21. Follow for this 60,000 plus 8 times 45,000. So 45 into 8. 8 5s are 40, 32, 36. 8 5s are 44, 32, 36, 360. So 60,000 plus, there is 360 here, 360 and 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. So 4 and 4. So that will be, you will get the same answer. And 6 plus 36 gives you 42. So 42 and 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4,20,000. So put here 4,20,000. Yes. One more zero, yes. So we have done. So we have arrived at a row echelon form. So I got 2 zeros below it and I got a 0 below it. So we can stop over here. Now we are going to find out the value for unknowns. That is, we are going to find out the value for x, y and z. Let's start with the value. So we'll directly write down the equivalent system. So let's write down the system over here. So we are transforming the augment matrix in the equivalent form. So we are going to write down the equivalent form now. Equivalent system is written in equivalent form. Let us just go on writing. You know how to write down, yes? This is x, y, z, 65,000. So x plus y plus z is equal to 65,000. Then you have next line, x is not there, so you have to take from y. Y plus 3 upon 2z is equal to 45,000. Okay, and the third one, we don't have x and y, we have only z part. So it's 21z is equal to 42. It's 4,20,000. 4,20,000. And now what we do is we will follow a method of back substitution. We have to go from the back of the answer. We are not going to start from the first equation. We are going to start from the third equation, and we are going to find a 1 unknowns, and we are going to get all the 3 unknowns. So let's start from third one. So I'll just write down here from 3. What do I get? From 3. 21z is equal to 4,20,000. So z is equal to, when I divide by 21, see here, 42 by 21, I get 2. And how many zeros are left here? 4 zeros. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 20,000. I get the value for z as 20,000. Clear? This we can do the calculation mentally, because these numbers are easy numbers. So try to go for the mental calculations. Okay, so z is equal to 20,000. Now let's apply for the second equation and try to get the value for y. I hope you are doing the sums along with me. Do not waste your time, children. You follow along with me. Already you have done this type of sums. So we are just going slow. You follow me. You just have to do the sums along with me. So now from 2, what do you get? Y plus 3 upon 2 z. Already have got the value for z. Yes, 20,000. 20,000. Be careful when you write the number of zeros, children. Here we are dealing with many zeros. 20,000 is equal to 45,000. So 2 and this is 1. So it becomes 10,000. So y plus 30. Yes, 30,000. 1, 2, 3, 4. 30,000 is equal to 45,000. 30,000 and 45,000. So y is equal to 45,000 minus 30,000. 30,000. So 45 minus 30. Here you will make mistake. I know. It's 45 minus 30. 15. Don't write here 42. Okay. You many will write 42,000. No. 45,000 minus 30,000. 30,000. 0, 0, 0, 5, 1. 15,000. So y is equal to 15,000. Got the value for y. Now from 1. From 1 what you get? So from 1, x plus y plus z is equal to 65,000. So x, I know the value for y, that's 15,000. I know for value for z, that is 20,000. And this total ups to 65,000. So that is x plus 35,000, yes, is equal to 65,000. So x is equal to 65,000 minus 35,000. 65 minus 35, it's 30,000. You get the value for x as 30,000. So we have got the value for x, got the value for y, and also got the value for z. So now let's write the final statement. So we have solved and we have found all the 3 unknowns, that is x, y and z. So let's complete our final answer. We will refer to the first statement that we have written for completing our answer. Write down. Therefore, the price of 6% bond, that is 6% bond is for excess children. The price of 6% bond is rupees 30,000. 30,000. The price of 8% bond is rupees Y value 15,000. The price of 9% bond is rupees 20,000. So you have three different bonds. One is of 30,000, one is of 15,000, and one is of 20,000. So we have found the value for all the three unknowns, that is X, Y, and Z. Clear? Okay, I hope you are clear with this sum. Okay, children? So exercise 1.5, sum number 3 is done. And now the last question, that is sum number 4, will be your homework. Try out the sum. Here they have just given you the equation, children. Y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. And they have given you three different points over there, is minus 6 comma 8, minus 2 comma minus 12, 3 comma 8. So you know that minus 6 comma 8 means the first pair, that is minus 6 stands for the value x and 8 stands for the value y. So you will use these three different points and you will get three different equations, and you have to solve the three equations and you have to get the value for x, y, z. Okay, and they have also given you to find out whether the friend, suppose a boy is walking along a particular path and he wants to meet his friend at a point P760. So you check for that point also. Okay, so you have to check whether he will meet his friend or not using a Gaussian elimination method. So complete sum number 4 as homework, and with this we complete our exercise 1.5. So we have completed exercise 1.5. Homework, exercise 1.5, sum number 4. I would like you to try out the sum by yourself. I have already told you, the more you practice, the more you work out, the more you are going to score in your mathematics. So you are going to work a lot. Okay, children, we are going to start with a new exercise and we are going to see a new topic in that exercise. So we have to go for some explanation. I have to explain you some points, and after explaining I will go with the exercise 1.6. This exercise is very easy exercise, and the only thing is you have to remember certain rules. Okay, for every methods we have some rules. Yes, we have some formulas, we have some methods. So you have to, that is, whenever you do particular exercise, you take a note of that method. If suppose you're doing Cramer's rule, means you take the method. Okay, how will be the presentation? What should be the first step? What we have to do? What we have to find? How should be the answer? Similarly, if you apply inverse, how to find inverse? What is the thing you have to do there? So if you're finding adjoint, how to find? What is the step we are going to use? So have a list of all the rules and have a list of all the steps so that it is easy, because we have lot of things to do, children. It's not like only a particular story. In one particular story you are not able to, it's not like a story. If you hear one story, you are able to answer all the things from that lesson, yes? But maths is not like that. Everything, each and every sum, each and every method is different. So we have to give extra attention. You have to put extra effort for your maths. Do not compare your maths with any other subjects. It's totally different. So your working style should be totally different. Okay, children? So put more effort. Okay, let's start with a new topic for exercise 1.6. I told that I have to explain you a new topic over here. So for that purpose, you're going to refer page 38. Stay on page 38, children. Can you see a theorem over there? Yes. What is the theorem name? Rauchy-Capelli theorem. Let's read it. Rauchy-Capelli theorem. Okay, Rauchy or Roch-Capelli theorem. Okay, what is that Rauchy-Capelli theorem? a system of linear equations. Okay, this is again, this is also dealing with a system of equations. Okay, but what we do here is we check the consistency. Consistency means whether we get a constant value, whether you get a value or whether you don't get a value, whether we get a solution or whether it's without a solution. So we are going to check the consistency of a system. That is, we are going to find out the type of solutions. How will be the solution? Whether the solution is going to be unique or the solution is going to be finite or infinite. So that comes under consistency. Consistency is we are going to find out the type of solutions. How are we going to get the solutions? Okay. How is the matrix written? What is the form of the matrix? Whatever equation is given to you, you have to write it in the form of matrix. That is, AX is equal to B. You know how to write the value for A? Yeah, A means all the coefficients of X, Y, Z. And what will be the X? The X will be the number of unknowns. If you have 2 by 2, mostly we are going to deal with 3 by 3 matrix. So X will be what? X, Y, Z. And the B part will be the constant numbers. Already we have done, yes children. So you have written that AX is equal to B. That is, we have used this in matrix inversion method. See children, so we have to interrelate the methods. It's not, that's why I say everything is interrelated. So you have to have a clear concept of all the things from the starting. We just cannot go in the middle of a particular lesson, or we cannot just go in the middle and you say that I am not able to understand the sum. This is because you have to start from the first. That's why do your work from the first day itself. The days you are having, you have a lot of time. So please use your time wisely. Try to score. You have a fixed in your mind that you are going to score more marks. Okay. So what was the thing I told you? So what we are doing here, we are bringing the matrix inversion form here. That is, AX is equal to B. Okay. And when you say this is consistent, if and only if the rank of the coefficient matrix is equal to the rank of the augmented matrix, that is, rank of A is equal to rank of AB. Okay, that AB you can read as augmented AB. Okay children. So this is just a statement. I'll explain to you statement when we do the sum. Okay, because with the help of an example, it will be easy to explain what is the meaning of that row of A is equal to row of A by B. So just for now, for this particular time, you have to remember that the equation will be written in the form AX is equal to B. And when you say that it is consistent, if row of A is equal to row of AB, that is augmented matrix AB. Remember this condition, you keep this condition in your mind, and this is what is called as Rauchy-Capelli theorem. Okay. Now you have to come to page 41. Take on page 41 children. Now just take page 41 and just come to page 42. See your exercise 1.6. From exercise 1.6 just read the question. What is the question given? Test for consistency. That is, you are going to test for the consistency. You are going to find out what type of solutions you are going to get. Are you going to get a solution or not? What type of solutions are there? That is, whether it's going to be finite or it's going to be unique or it's going to be infinite. So that's what we are going to check for. Okay, and if possible, suppose you are able to get a solution, you are going to solve it by a rank method. So this is for testing the consistency. So for testing the consistency, you have to follow the rule which is given in page 41. Just come to page 41 children. You can see a blue letter statements over there. Can you see that? Yes, you have 3 points there. So we are going to see the 3 points. Let's see the first point. If there are n unknowns. Now what do you mean by n unknowns? In the equation, if you have x, y, z, we find when we solve a linear equation, we find the value for unknowns. Yes children, we find the value for x, we find the value for y, we find the value for z. So these are known as unknowns. If you have a 3 equation, then you have to find how many unknowns? 3 unknowns will be there. If you have a variable dealing with x, y, then the number of unknowns will be 2. If you have 3 variables, the number of unknowns will be 3. Okay. So now, number of unknowns, how are you going to find? by the number of variables. Okay. And what is this statement given? See, if you have rank of A is equal to rank of A by B, that is AB. I'll just give you a small matrix over here and I'll tell you how to find row A and rank of A by E. We read it as row, but actually it is rank of A. Okay, suppose we have a matrix, okay. I'll write the augmented matrix over here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. I have something like this, okay. We have an augmented matrix AB. It's 1, 2, 3, 3, 0, 1, 4, 2, 0, 0, 5, 1, okay. Now, how to find what is row A, what is row, what is rank of A and what is rank of AB? See, this part is rank of A. Are you just observing carefully, children? See, this is the augmented matrices. So when you consider this part, that is the part before the augmentation, that is the rank A. And when you consider the whole part, it's called as rank of AB. Are you getting the point, children? So how to find rank A and how to find rank AB? Okay, let's find out rank A. What is the rank A here? Rank A, how to find rank? First of all, find the number of non-zero rows. So rank A means I'm not going to see these numbers. I'm not going to see the number after the line, that is B part. Just going to focus only on A. So number of non-zero, because we have a number other than 0. Here I just can't say this is 0 row because we have other numbers also. So this is a non-zero row. This is also a non-zero row because here what is there? 5 is there. So what is the rank here? The rank is 3. What is the rank? 3. Okay, now let's go for rank AB. Non-zero row, non-zero row, non-zero row. So what is the rank here? It's 3. And I have told you if you are using the 3 unknown variables x, y, z, what is n here? Number of unknowns will be 3. Okay, children, so number of unknowns will be 3. So if you have number of unknowns, rank of A and rank of AB, you have to say the system is consistent. How is the system? Consistent, and it has unique solution. How many solution? What about the solution? It will have unique solution. So if all the threes are same, if the rank of A, rank of AB and the number of unknowns are all same, you have to say the system is consistent and also the system has a unique solution. I hope you are clear with the first point, children. Okay. Now let's go for the second point. What is the second point? If there are n unknowns in the system, Ax is equal to B and rank of A is equal to rank of AB is equal to n minus k, then the system is consistent and has infinitely many solutions, and these solutions form a k parameter family. Okay, I'll just explain. So you may get confused with the statement. I'll just have the same number of variables, that is, what is that? 3. Here, I just change the matrix. Now see here, tell me what is the rank of the matrix here? Rank of A is, I told you just focus on this part. So this is a non-zero row, this is a 0 row. So leave that 0 row. What is the rank? You get the rank as 2. Similarly, now focus on rank of AB. AB means non-zero row, 0 row. So rank of A is 2 and rank of AB is 2. But what about the number of unknowns? Number of unknowns we have taken as 3. So now here, if you have such a condition, that is if rank of A, rank of AB is same, but the number of unknown is more than that, you have to say that the system is consistent. Yet the system will be consistent, but it will have infinitely many solutions. So you may have more than one solutions. Are you clear with the system? So if the rank of A, rank of AB and the number of unknowns, all the three are same, what about the solution? What about the system? Yes, the system is consistent and it has a unique solution. Good. And similarly, if you have the rank as same and the number of unknown is more than that, you have to say the system is consistent. Okay, you are going to get a solution. Consistent means there will be a solution, but how is the solution? You may have infinitely many solutions. And there you have one parameter and two parameter family, and I'll be giving you a detailed idea about these parameters when we solve the sums from the exercise, because at that time it is very easy to explain. So just remember the term, we have to use the parameter of families over there. I'll be just giving you the idea later on. So at present, just think of consistent and unique solution if all the three are same, and if the ranks are same and the number of unknown differs, you have to say the system is consistent but it has infinitely many solutions. Okay, now let's come back to the another step. Let's have one more way of choosing the matrix, and let's find the third point over here. Suppose I have an augmented matrix as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'll put here 0, 0, 5, 6, 0, 0. Okay, 4, 2, 3. Consider the matrix, children. We have taken a matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 5, 6, 2, 0, 0, 0, 3. Now let me find out the rank of A first. What is rank of A? Non-zero row, non-zero row, a zero row. So what is the rank here? The rank of A is 2. Let's come to the rank of AB. I'm going to take the whole part. So rank of AB is equal to non-zero row, non-zero row, non-zero row. Yes, here we get rank of AB as 3. So what do you say? Rank of A is not equal to rank of AB. So when you have such a type, you have to say the system is inconsistent and you are not going to get any solution. So though you say the system is inconsistent and it has no solution. Are you clear, children? So that's what is the rule that we have to follow for exercise 1.6, that is for testing the consistency of a particular system. Is it clear, children? I hope you have been clear with the systems that we have studied. So just have a small recap of the 3 rules that we have studied under Rauchy-Capley. The first one is row A is equal to row AB, and also the number of unknowns is same. If all the 3 are equal, you have to say the system is consistent and it has a unique solution. And I have taught you how to find row of A and also how to find row of AB. That is a very important thing that you should know how to find. You know how to find the number of unknowns? Yeah, if in the equation you have x, y, z variable, so number of unknowns will be 3. And if you have x and y variable, number of unknowns will be 2. Good. Okay. Now, how to find rank of A? Take the first part. That is, we have a division over here. Yes? So when you take the part before the division, that is before the line, you call it as rank of A. And when you take the whole part, it is taken as row of AB. So be clear with the parts that is we have to focus on. So A and AB. And so when you have all the 3 equal, you have to say the system is consistent and unique. And if you have the rank same, but the number of unknown varies, you have to say the system is consistent, but it has infinitely many solutions. Good. Yes. And coming for the third rule, if both the ranks are different, the sum is very simple. We can say that the system is inconsistent and it has no solution. I hope you are clear with these 3 rules. So I'll be starting with the exercise in the next class. So just let me repeat your homework once again. So what is your homework? So your homework is from exercise 1.5, you are going to do the 4th sum. Yes, children? So 4th sum will be your homework. Yes, complete sum number 4. And also you are going to do sum number 4 as homework and solved example 1.27 and 1.28. Solved example 1.27, 1.28. This is 1, this is 2. And the third one is you have to state Rauchy-Capelli theorem and its rule. So totally 3 sums and 1 question type. So sum 4 you have to do, that's you can do. Solved examples you have the answers with you, yes. So you have to do the calculations and you have to do the sums. They have just given the step, they have not shown the working. So you have to do the working and you have to get the answer. So B, I want the working in the rough column. You have to show the working column. How are you getting the row conversions? So go for the working part. And for the third answer, you have to write the theorem. Where is the theorem? The theorem is in page 38. Listen to me carefully. The theorem is given in page 38. So you have to write down the theorem first. And after writing the theorem, you are going to write the rule. Where is the rule? Yeah, page 41. So you have to write down the whole, the blue color letters, that whole 3 points. All the 3 points to be written under the rule. So this is your homework. So do not forget to complete your homework on time. So complete your homework and submit it properly. Okay children, so we will continue exercise 1.6 in our next class.